I'm Duvall, and I am the principal at the Poplar Bluff Junior High School, and I'm here to talk to you guys tonight about the one-to-one initiative that passed recently and give my perspective and points of view about it. Before we get started, I passed out a handout to all of you, so you should have all the information I'm going to be going over tonight. So if you want to look through it while I talk about it, that'd be great. I'll go ahead and jump on in. The first thing that I want to talk about is the devices we chose. We looked into several different devices, but we decided that MacBooks will be the best choice, and I'll go into more detail as to why we chose those later. But having these devices are going to help us better serve our students. Using the MacBooks, we will increase the level of 21st century skills we incorporate into our classroom, and these skills will be things like critical thinking skills, problem solving, creativity, collaboration with peers, and we will also be implementing the ISTE student standards more regularly, and these coincide with the 21st century skills as well, and are very similar. As I stated, we chose MacBooks, and I'll go into more detail as to why. We chose them based on their durability, the fact that they have an operating system that is less easily affected with malware, and since it's an Apple product and device, it holds value better than other devices, and so will be able to be resold more easily. So those are the reasons we chose the MacBook. For the one-to-one initiative to be successful, we're going to need some things from our teachers, and the most important thing we're going to need is buy-in. So we're going to need teachers to believe in the process and believe in what we see for our future for our students. The main thing teachers are going to need to know is that the days of them standing up and lecturing to a class and students taking notes, those days are gone. So now students need to be involved in the learning process. And the main thing I see that we're going to have for our teachers is professional development opportunities. They need to feel comfortable with these devices. They need to have support with them and feel like we're backing them up. And I'll talk more about the professional development opportunities later. I would like to have teachers collaborate with one another though, maybe weekly or monthly even, and just talk about what apps they're using that they see they're working really well in their classroom, what are some things that they're doing maybe they've noticed haven't worked well, and just kind of be able to collaborate with one another. I also want to send out surveys twice a year, and that'll just help me see how I can better help my teachers. Are they feeling comfortable enough? Do they need more professional development? In what ways do they need the professional development? And just how effective they think these devices are being. As I stated earlier, we're going to need lots of professional development with this going on. In the beginning, I can see our PD days as being more of a group-based, so having someone come in and speak to us, and that way everyone's getting the exact same information. If there needs to be questions, it's a face-to-face meeting, so they feel comfortable asking the questions and getting the answers. I would also like to participate in a few seminars if possible. I was also hoping that before the school year starts, we could even go and talk to another school district who is doing the one-to-one initiative and see what are some of the mistakes they made, what are some things they learned from, what are some things that have worked really well for them, and maybe go back and visit them during the school year and kind of just get to observe how they're doing things. So obviously having these devices means that we need to be able to trust our students with them. We don't want teachers worrying about what websites their students are on and taking away from their lessons. So we have some filters that we're going to obviously have to put on the MacBooks because we can't trust every junior high kid to do what they're supposed to do. So what we've chosen are, the first one is our Sonic Wall, and that's on any device that is plugged into the district network. And so those will go ahead and start content filtering, but when the devices are taken home, they will be going through iBoss, and this will enforce content filtering policies by redirecting all internet traffic back to our servers where we will either approve or deny the website they're trying to get onto. And both of these systems are CIPA compliant. There will be times where these devices need updating, just like our phones need updated. Obviously the MacBooks are going to have to be updated as well. So when there are small updates, we will use FileWave to enforce application updates and device restriction and other updates. Each MacBook will connect to the FileWave every 2 minutes, and this will check it in to make sure that it has the latest software. Whenever we have to have bigger and larger updates that would take too much time, we will just collect all the MacBooks in the summer and we will manually update those. There are a few apps that I want to have every single device will have these apps on it. And the first app I want to talk about is called Edmondo. And this app will allow communication with teachers and students. I think that's the biggest thing with these devices, is that now there's no excuse for students to not be able to have good communication with their teachers. And so this will help them communicate with their teachers about concerns about an assignment, questions, anything like that. The next one is called Evernote. And this app will help students take notes during class time, and it syncs to other devices, which makes it easier for students. And I really like that it helps them take notes, because in college they're really going to have to be taking notes, and it'll help with that. Google Classroom is one I also would like to have installed. And the possibilities on this app are wonderful. The main thing I like is that students will be able to communicate again, and they will also receive feedback on these things and on their assignments. And they will be able to get their questions answered more quickly and things like that. So another great way of communicating with teachers.
This is an example of what Google Classroom would look like. So this says Mrs. Duvall's math class. And so we are going to start a tour and see what this would be about. Okay, so in the classroom stream, you can post announcements, create assignments, and ask questions to your class. So it would be a great way of communication. The class code is where students can join your class by entering the code. So it's user-friendly for sure. And this is where it says you can invite students to your class on the students page. So if students don't enter the code, you can always invite them, which is nice. And so this is just what's the example of what Google Classroom is, the setup and what it looks like. And this is why I want it to be on every computer, because I think it's a great way to communicate and a great way for students to stay organized as well as teachers.
Quizlet is another app that will help students, and Quizlet provides students with better studying tools like flashcards and things like that, and prepares them for tests. And so I want every student to have access to that. And the last app is called Animoto, and this app is used as an assessment tool. And I really like this app because after a lesson, instead of giving a test, the students will create a 30-second video about what they learned, and they will upload it, and that's their assessment. And so instead of having paper or pencil, now we can move on and we can have assessments that students are able to talk about what they've learned instead of having to write it down. And those are the main things that I'm going to hit on tonight. I'm thrilled about this initiative. I'm really glad that our community has backed us on this. I know that we're going to do great things with it, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I know that we're going to be able to increase our 21st century skills, increase those critical thinking skills, and have better lessons for our students. So, thank you.